Did you know that there are two types of Scandi grinds, and depending on which grind your knife has will determine its capabilities or potentially its limitations depending on the task you want that knife to accomplish. So in this video, I want to unpack what the anatomy of a Scandi grind truly is and to help you determine which type of Scandi grind is best suited for your needs, as well share with you best practices on how to resharpen each type of grind. So guys, thanks for hanging with me today. I'm Aaron, this is Gideonstactical. Let's go ahead and dive on in. So let's begin with our first variant, which is a true Scandi. And just for some perspective, we have the flat side of the blade, which then transitions into the edge grind, and there is no secondary bevel. So it comes down directly to the pinnacle or peak of the blade. We're gonna use the Reef Knives F4 in Scandi as our little example here, because it just comes down to, like, literally think of a reverse pyramid. Just there it is. There is really only one grind, a singular grind. So you'll hear that called when you're looking at blades, either a true Scandi or it'll often say a 0 degree edge. The benefit to having a knife like this is precision. If you're looking for your knife to be an extremely fine woods crafting tool, that is the type of grind you will probably gravitate to, because of how precise the edge is. Means it is extremely easy for it to bite into wood, to make feather sticks, to make a bowl, to make notches, to break down in a piece of wood into like a spear point. Those type of tasks and other very precise cutting, a 0 degree Scandi is phenomenal and will blow your mind in its capability, but there is a big limitation, and it's the durability of the edge. A 0 degree Scandi or a true Scandi is not a durable edged tool. That means if you expect your knife to do a lot of light chopping, you delimb a lot with your knife, you hack and shape wood with a hacking motion, you baton and you expect your knife to be able to split down kindling, a 0 degree Scandi will not make you happy. That's the bottom line. Because of how precise and fine that edge is, it is very easy for it to either roll or other edge issues, causing it to dull out quicker and mean that you're going to be spending a lot more time resharpening, and you're just gonna get frustrated with a 0 degree Scandi that you are doing harder impact type of work with. And just kind of shows that if you have a knife with a 0 degree Scandi, it's best practice to pair that with a hatchet, axe, and or saw, so that you can do your larger wood crafting and wood processing with those impact and sawing tools and leave a true Scandi to the very fine woodworking. Now, the benefit also to a 0 degree or true Scandi is that these are the easiest of the two to resharpen. Because honestly, all you have to do is lay your flat portion of the blade on your sharpening stone, roll up until your main singular edge engages with the stone, and then start your process of stroking back and forth. And that's all you have to do to put a 0 edge and maintain that 0 edge on your true Scandi knife. Now, just personal preference, what I have found is that the pull back method on 0 degree grinds tends to, or true Scandis tends to be the best method for me personally to not create a secondary edge, which is what we'll talk about in just a moment. If I pull back and really keep my eye on the ball, making sure to keep just a consistent stroke, I can easily keep that 0 degree true Scandi and not roll up and create a secondary bevel. So to me, the true Scandis are the easier of the two to learn how to resharpen and to maintain. Now we're about to hit the other type of Scandi grind, but I just want to thank you guys for hanging with me today. This is a great shareable video, so if you have friends or family who are either into blades or they're thinking about Scandi knives and they're asking you questions, this is just a great video to share with them. If you are watching and you're enjoying this type of content, I invite you to hit that like button, to consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Make sure to hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every week when I put up new gear reviews and content videos just like this to help you guys better stay equipped and prepared. It is truly you, the viewers, that help myself and gear review channels like myself continue to make content. It's an uphill battle, always. Even myself, as well as hundreds just recently of other gear reviewers and knife and tool designers and builders, got all of their Instagram pages locked down for several days. Some haven't even been reinstated yet for the moment. Mine seems to be, but I mean, it's always a uphill battle, and it's truly you guys as well as our sponsors that really do help us to continue to make content and give you guys this type of entertainment and information. And I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is LA Police Gear. They've been a partner with me for years now. They carry awesome, excellent gear and equipment from all types of well-established brands. But one piece of equipment that I'm actually using a ton is their Tradesman pair of pants. These are from their Benchmark series, and they have their Everyday Joe pair of pants, which I really liked, and then they hit me up recently and they're like, hey, we got these Tradesman pair, you wanna try them out? And these are ridiculous, guys, with particularly the blend of cotton to spandex. You know, they flex a little bit, but they're got all the different types of pockets, the waistband flexes, it's got double button, you know, and then good zipper and a great place to measure, you know, where the things count and where they're most important. They have a little measuring tape included, as well as a plethora of different pockets and just really well laid out, and comes in like under 50 bucks with a couple different color combinations, and they're true to size. I wear 34s. These fit excellent, and these are great workman pants that I've been using a lot with the gear testing and stuff, and I really appreciate them. So they have those. They have their Everyday Joe if you don't want the Tradesman layout and more of like an everyday carry layout. They have those as well as tons of other options. So I have my like standing 10% off promo code that you can apply anywhere on the site all the time year round. But I mean, anytime you click on it during the holidays, I'm sure they're gonna have different sales going on. So hop on over there, check those guys out. They are amazing. And without you guys and them and our other awesome sponsors, I couldn't do what I do here. So now our second type of Scandi grind is a modified Scandi. Now you'll actually hear this term and other terms like it. So it may be, you may hear modified, you may hear secondary edge, you may hear secondary bevel. And to be honest, I would say probably 2/3 of all Scandi knives that you're gonna find on the market will have this type of grind. Now what we'll find is, unlike the original true Scandi, is we're gonna have the side of the blade right here, then you will have a first grind, which in the original would be the 0, that's the only grind, the 0. But then you will find a secondary edge down here near the tip, or a micro bevel, sometimes is what it's called, all kinds of micro edge. There's lots of terms for it, but basically they take the concept, and we're gonna use the Condor Pterosaur as a great example here. They take the same concept of the true Scandi, but then at the very edge there, they bring it in again. So you have a secondary micro or mini thin edge or bevel that does two things. One, it's not quite as fine and precise as the true Scandi, meaning you will have to work slightly, it's very minimal, but you'll notice it a little bit. You'll have to maybe change the angle of your grip slightly to have the edge actually engage with wood. It still is excellent for woodcraft and, you know, wood carving and doing those type of things, but it just won't be quite as fine, quite as precise. The major benefit to this type of modified Scandi is that it is significantly more durable. So if you do like pounding on the back spine, doing some impact, you do shape wood through chopping motion, you do expect this knife to split down kindling. You want to be able to hit the spine and do like a deep notch really quick and do those type of activities. This edge will hold an edge to that type of impact much longer than the true Scandi. So the durability level is greatly increased when you have a modified Scandi grind, meaning they're better utility knives as well as potentially standalone knives if you don't really want to carry the extra weight of a folding saw or hatchet and you do need to potentially delimb some branches and split down the kindling. Now, one detractor though is that modified Scandis tend to be a little trickier to resharpen and hone the edge when it does need a fresh edge or you want to tune it up, because unlike the true Scandi where you would just lay it flat, roll up, and now you're engaged with that 0-degree edge, you now have to roll again and find the angle that you are using for the micro bevel or that secondary edge. Now for me, over time I've gotten used to it, and almost become second nature, but you will engage, and then you're gonna need to tilt up a little bit more to do a stroke and then begin to resharpen the blade. And what I have found usually for me is that a push stroke tends to be a little bit better for the blades that have micro bevels or these modified Scandis. That's what, this is again, just my personal preference. Please leave comments below, let me know which way you prefer to sharpen your knives in general, the push motion or the stroke pull back motion. So I tend to pull back on a 0 and I tend to push forward on a micro beveled Scandi. So that is something to know, and it just takes a little bit of practice to find where that edge is. But once you get the hang of it, you can maintain that secondary edge without much difficulty. Now there's one last very important data point. If you have a true Scandi and you want a more durable edge, you can easily put a micro edge on a true Scandi. You would just roll up slightly, sharpen, and now you have that mini secondary edge on that knife and is much more durable if that's something that you want. On the flip side though, if you have a modified Scandi and you're wanting to take it to a true 0 or make it into a true Scandi, that is much harder. It's very difficult to remove that secondary edge, and you're gonna have to completely reprofile basically that entire grind to get it to come down to a true 0. So guys, there are the two types of Scandi grinds. Leave a comment below and let me know which type you prefer to use and take with you when you are going out on your adventures or you're sitting around the campfire whittling and carving. Do you tend to just gravitate to the micro bevels, or do you tend to go with a true Scandi? I look forward to hearing all the questions and comments that you may have, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. Again, I appreciate you guys hanging with me today, spending time. I hope it's been fun and also informational for you. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.